The Aramaic and Palestinian Targum, we're reading Genesis chapter 13. And Abram went up from Mizraim, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him, to go to the south. And Abram had become very strong in cattle, in silver and in gold. And he proceeded in his journeyings from the south unto Bethel, and returned to the place where he had outspread his tabernacle at the first, between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there at the beginning. And Abram prayed there in the name of the Lord, and also unto Lot, who was remembered through the righteousness of Abram. There were sheep and oxen and tents, and the land could not sustain them to dwell together, because their possessions were great, and they were not able to dwell together. And contentions arose between the shepherds of Abram's flock and the shepherds of the flocks of Lot. For the shepherds of Abram had been instructed by him not to go amongst the Canaanite and the Pharisee, who as yet had power in the land, and to restrain the cattle, that they should make no depredation in going to the place of their pasture. But the shepherds of Lot would go and feed in the grounds of the Canaanite and the Pharisee, who yet dwelt the land. And Abram said to Lot, Between me and thee, let there not now be controversy, nor between my shepherds and thy shepherds, for we are brothermen. Is not all the land before thee? Separate then from me. If thou to the north, then I to the south, or if thou to the south, I to the north. And Lot uplifted his eyes towards the place of fornication, and beheld all the plain of Jardinea, that it was altogether well watered, before the Lord in his wrath had destroyed Sodom and Amorah, a land admirable for trees, as the garden of the Lord, and for fruitage, as the land of Mitzrayim, as thou goest up to Zoar. And Lot chose to him all the plain of Jardinea. And Lot journeyed from the east, and they separated, the one man from his brother. And Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the towns of the plain, and spread his tabernacle towards Sodom. And the men of Sodom were depraved in their wealth, one with another, and they sinned in their bodies. They sinned with open nakedness and the shedding of innocent blood, and practiced strange worship, and rebelled greatly against the name of the Lord. And the Lord said to Abram, after that Lot had separated from him, Lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, to the north and to the south, to the east and to the west. For all the land that thou seest will I give unto thee, and to thy sons forever. And I will make thy sons manifold as the dust of the earth, as it is impossible for a man to number the dust of the earth, so also it shall be impossible to number thy sons. Arise, journey in the land, and make occupation of it in length and breadth, for to thee will I give it. And Abram stretched his tent for oxen and sheep, and came and dwelt in the vale of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and builded there an altar before the Lord. This is the reading. I just want to make point from this reading that Abram gave Lot the choice of the preferred land. And it's interesting, Lot's choice. He took that which was pleasing to the eye, but Abram took the other portion, and from that God said you could have all the portion. And the promise is to Abram and to his sons. It's really important to remember the blessing is upon Abraham and his seed. Also, it's interesting to look at the sins of Sodom. They were depraved in their wealth, so they had plenty, and they sinned in their bodies. So that would be eating unclean, sexual depravity, I suppose using members of their bodies like their tongue, sinning, lying, cheating. And they sinned with open nakedness and the shedding of innocent blood. What about abortions? And practice strange worship. That would be the worshipping of other gods and fantasies, and probably not even idols. It's probably more than that, strange worship. So it would be worshipping a lot of other strange things, I suppose, and rebelled greatly against the name of the Lord. So not a nice place to live, I wouldn't think, but there's a lot of similarities. In fact, are we not in those days now? Anyway, blessed be his name. Yod He Vah He. Amen.